Carlos is considering two part-time jobs in sales. One job offers him a base salary of $8 per hour plus a 2% commission on the dollar amount of his sales. The other job offers him a base salary of $9 an hour plus a 1% commission on the dollar amount of his sales. Determine the equations for Carlos' hourly salary for each of the two jobs. So we're talking about an hourly salary. So then, since we're only talking about for 1 hour, then the salary is now only dependent on the dollar amount of the sales. So I will let X represent the amount of sales in dollars. So then the first job the total salary, and we'll let Y represent the salary. The total hourly salary. So then the first job, the total hourly salary would be $8 plus 2% of the sales. And the second job, the salary would be given by $9 plus 1% of the sales. Now we're asked to graph the two lines on graph paper. Think carefully about how to scale the axes. Alright, so again, the equations were y equals 8 plus 0.02x and y equals 9 plus 0.01x. So x, recall, x was the dollar amount of the sales. And so a scale of 1 is probably not going to be reasonable. You probably don't make $1 in sales. You probably make hundreds of dollars in sales. And in an hour, I mean, of course, it depends on the job. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to scale the x-axis in 20s. So each mark will mean 20. Alright, and then the y-axis, well, if we think about these y-intercepts, the y-intercepts are at 8 and 9 respectively. I don't have a bunch of marks here. I've only got 9 marks, so I don't want to go all the way up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a break in the axis, and I will have the axis start at 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Alright, so now, for the first equation, which I will go ahead and plot in blue, I know I have a y-intercept of 8, and then 2% of the sales. So let's, just to make the arithmetic easy, so for our first equation, I'm going to let x equal 100. Then y would equal 8 plus 0.02 times 100. So y would equal 8 plus 2, and y would equal 10. So if you make $100 in sales, well then 2% of that is 2, and adding that on to the hourly rate, hourly salary, that would give you a total of $10. And so then we will draw this line. And notice I'm only considering the first quadrant because we can't have a negative amount of sales. That just doesn't make sense in context. And then for the second equation, I'll plot that in red, and again I will let x equal 100 just to make the arithmetic easy. Y would equal 8, sorry, not 8, but 9, plus 0.01 by 100, and so y would equal 9 plus 1, which is also 10. So we had a y-intercept of 9, and we have another point at 100, 10, and drawing the line through those 2 points. We see that graph, and notice that those 2 lines intersect at 110. What is the solution to the system of equations? Well, the solution of the system is 110. Interpret the solution in terms of salary and sales. So, what this tells us is, when his sales are $100, he makes $10 an hour at either job. If Carlos estimates that his hourly sales average $54, which job should he take? All right, so that's saying basically if we let x equal 54, what happens? Well, let's go back to our graph. If we have an average sale of 54, so 54 is about here, and if we sort of just draw that vertical line at 54 and look at the places where it crosses, so that wasn't drawn very well, let's try again. So if we look at those 2 points, if he's only going to average $54 in sales in an hour, which is the better job? Well, it looks to me like he would want to take the job that would pay more. And so for $54, I think we should go with job 2. So, if Carlos averages $54 in sales per hour, he should take job 2.